Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My first love cheated on me with my best friend. I thought I'd share my cheating story with all of you. This happened many years ago, as I'm now 33. This was my very first relationship. I was 16 and in high school. There was a guy a few years older than me named Josh, and he was 18 to 19 years old. He was from my school and he would have been a few grades above me, but he dropped out of high school and got his GED. He definitely was one of those guys that everyone knew of because he was good looking, partied a lot and was smart. We knew each other, we were friendly, and we would party in the same group of people. I was the type in high school to go out on weekends to parties, and I started drinking and smoking pot at a young age. I had a best friend named Maria who I was with 24/7. We were inseparable. We were in the same grade and had been good friends for many years. We spent weekends at each other's houses and whatnot, and our moms were good friends too. They loved to drink together. So me and Josh started dating. This was my first boyfriend and I had lost my virginity to him. Our relationship moved fast and we were saying I love you within a month or two. We were head over heels in love with each other and we were both happy. He ended up moving in with me about 6 months into the relationship. His parents didn't agree with his lifestyle and my mom didn't care what I did, so she said he could move in and we shared my bedroom. I was still attempting to go to school, but with the partying and my newfound love, school became less and less important. And since he had his GED, he kept saying how I should drop out and get my GED and how it would just make things easier. So when I was in the beginning of 10th grade and failing all of my classes, I dropped out of high school and signed up for GED classes. Within a month I had taken the test and passed. Wanted to add, I wasn't failing school BC, I was stupid. I was failing BC, I didn't care or apply myself, so GED test was actually easy for me. So I'm 17 years old with a GED and my older boyfriend is living with me. Yikes, lol. So I started working full-time at my restaurant job I had, so I was making pretty good money for my age. And Josh had a job as a line cook at a different restaurant, so all of our money basically went to drugs and stuff. So this was our life. A young couple living together at my mom's house. We partied our asses off and did a ton of drugs together. Our sex life was very passionate, thrilling and exciting. Sex was new for me, so I was down to try anything with him, and since we were in love, why not? All we did was work, party, duck, sleep, repeat. And my bestie Maria was with us for all of it. She had a few guys she dated on and off too, but none that lasted. At almost 2 years of dating, things slowly began to change with him. I started to notice little changes in him, like him being distant and not as attentive as he used to be. You know how you can just tell something is up with your significant other? I mean, you know them inside and out, and when something is wrong, you just know. So I brought it up and he insisted everything was fine. This was also before anyone really had cell phones. I mean, there was cell phones, but they were the flip phones or the Nokia ones. I believe we both had a cell phone, but texting wasn't a thing then, so it's not like he was texting someone and being shady on his phone. Things were just different then. So one night we were all at a huge house party. Me, Josh, Maria. Basically anyone who was cool was there. It was a ton of fun. Josh and I basically didn't spend much time together at the party, and I knew something was up. My other friends could see something was going on with him too. But I had no idea what I was in for. When the party ended, I went to find him to let him know we had a ride home. It's like 3 a.m. now. He was mean to me and started a fight for no reason. We started yelling and arguing and he insisted on staying at party. I was so ducked up and didn't have the energy to argue with him, so I said duck it and got a ride home without him. That night was the first night we had slept apart in almost 2 years. I woke up early the next morning feeling like shit, hungover and sad that Josh didn't come home last night. I was trying to call him but he wasn't answering, so I said duck it. I'll go to him. I had a feeling something was going on, I felt it in my gut. I called one of my other girlfriends who had a car and was at the party last night too and begged her to pick me up to go get Josh. So we get to the house where the party was and walk up to the back door. It was locked. I started knocking and no one was answering. Now I'm getting pissed. Like, why won't they let me in? I started pounding on the door. Eventually my friend, whose house it was, stumbled to the door to open it. I said I'm here for Josh. And she had this look of terror in her face when she realized it was me and tried to swing the door back closed. But I was too quick. I put my foot in the doorway to stop the door and pushed really hard to keep her from shutting it and locking me out. So I managed to get the door open and she just stood there in shock and stepped aside. I don't think she said anything, and if she did, it didn't register for me. I was on a mission. I marched right in the house with my girlfriend behind me. I walked through the kitchen and around the corner to the living room where the sofa bed was pulled out. And there I saw my boyfriend Josh and my best friend Maria sound asleep, half naked and covered up partly with a sheet. They had no idea I was there. All the commotion at the back door didn't wake them, they were passed out in a drunken slumber. I walked over to the side of the sofa bed that Maria was on where her head was. I was kinda behind the sofa looking down at her sleeping next to my man. And I just leaned over the sofa and started punching her. As hard as I could with both fists. Left, right, bam, bam, bam. I'm screaming as I'm doing this. I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm sure it was along the lines, "You ducking bitch, you ducked my man." She started tossing around not knowing what was going on, and from her squirming around and me bouncing her up and down on the bed from the blows of my fists, her boob popped out of her bra. Smiley face. I must have hit her 20 times. Of course Josh woke up as this was happening, and I think it took him a second to process what was happening. Because he didn't do or say anything. He just sat up and was in shock. My girlfriend and the chick whose house we were at both grabbed me and stopped me from punching her. Now Maria is definitely awake and scrambling to get away from me. She jumped up and off the sofa bed and started screaming and crying while trying to put her boob away and get as far away from me as she could. I walked over to Josh and got close to his face as he's sitting on the sofa bed in his boxers with this dumbfounded look on his face, and I started screaming and swearing at him and I slapped him across the face. He leaned back as if I was gonna hit him again and he started yelling back at me. I can't remember exactly what was said between us because it was so long ago. But I know we argued for a few minutes, which felt like forever, and I had had enough. I just turned around and walked out of the house. I was shaking and crying now. So overwhelmed and sick to my stomach. I felt like someone had actually stepped on my heart. I literally felt like my heart was broken. It was like a sinking and heavy feeling I felt on my chest. He never came out of the house after me. He didn't try to explain himself and he didn't apologize. I went back home and cried and didn't get out of bed for days. We had spoken a few times on the phone after that, but the damage was done. There wasn't any fix to this, and I didn't speak to Maria at all after this happened. I didn't see her for a long time too, but some people told me she had a black eye from my punching her. A short time later I told Josh to come get his shit out of my house. This was probably a week after this happened. And he did. He came by to get his stuff and was being all nice and shit. And we had sex one more time. And it wasn't because I wanted to get back with him or anything. It was just that one and done type of thing that needed to happen. After that he started dating Maria and they got an apartment together. They were together for like 4 years too. But broke up because she cheated on him. Karma is a bitch. Josh was my first everything. My first love, the first guy I slept with, the first guy I lived with, etc. He was my everything, and he also was the first guy to cheat on me. Unfortunately he wasn't the last either, but that relationship taught me a lot and I became stronger because of it. Today we're friends on FB. He's a loser. He still doesn't have a license or a car, he still works in a restaurant as a line cook. And he still lives in the same town we grew up in. He went nowhere in life. Literally nowhere. He's done nothing to better himself, and I believe he still drinks and does drugs. As for Maria, she's bounced around from one relationship to the next. She recently had a baby and unfortunately isn't with the father. We're FB friends too and I'm friendly with her now. We've seen each other a few times over the years but we're just acquaintances and that's all we'll ever be. I don't wish ill to either of them. As for me, my life is great. I'm married to a wonderful, successful and supportive man. I have a successful career. I moved away from home. I've traveled to other countries for vacations and I don't drink or do drugs anymore. I've been completely clean and sober for 8 years now. Looking back now I think of how naive I was. I should have seen that breakup coming because we actually had a very toxic and codependent relationship. So if anything, he did me a favor by cheating on me. Edit, just in case anyone is wondering, because I already got a nasty comment, I'm not a violent person. This is actually the only time in my life I hit and slapped someone. Actually, I think I kicked someone in the leg once. Lol, I'm definitely not a fighter, I don't even know how to fight, that's not who I am at all. But I was 18 for God's sake. And that was my natural and honest reaction after finding my boyfriend and my best friend in bed together. In the heat of the moment that's how I reacted. I wish I had handled it differently but I didn't. I was young, stupid and immature then. And yeah, I had a hard childhood growing up. My mom was a drunk and dad wasn't in the picture. I didn't have any structure at home and my mom was never around to teach me right from wrong. So I made many mistakes when I was younger which I paid for. And I also learned from those mistakes and I'm a better person today because of it. Wow, thanks for sharing that story. It helps to know other people have gone through similar things. I admire you for your strength, coming out on top, and being happy now. Your story inspired me smile. Wow, how you explained that cheating feeling so well. I've not been cheated on to my knowledge but every time I imagine it or hear about it from other people it also makes me unbearably sick to my stomach. And yes, I have the same view of cheating, that they really do you a favor by revealing their nasty character so you can leave to do better for yourself. Thanks. Yeah, I remember that feeling like it was yesterday. I was so heartbroken. I also remember some of my friends came over days after this all happened and I was still in bed. They came into my room and to surprise me, they brought me stuff to cheer me up. And yeah, I agree. He showed me his true character, that's for sure. It all worked out in the end. I'm proud of you. I would be prouder if you had broken his nose and kicked her in the, but still proud. That was a defining relationship in your life. You learned a lot, good and bad, from it and have used it to better yourself. I've never understood how a couple can get busy again after one has cheated, but you aren't the first. Just can't have sex with someone I hate for betraying me. All in all, it was a well-written, easy-to-read post. I thank you. Well, thank you for the positive comment. I appreciate that. And thanks for realizing that was a defining relationship for me. BC, it really was. I actually was gonna write that in the title of this post but decided not to. I'm glad you got that point. I was young, and impressionable. And that relationship made me grow up really quickly. Probably too quickly. And I had experienced so much in just a short time at such a young age. I definitely felt damaged for a long time after that, after what happened. And not just BC of him but BC of what my closest friend did to me. That she was able to do that to me and hurt me like that. The whole thing definitely changed me though. Thanks again for your positivity, I appreciate it. Yes, I can imagine those events caused you to have some trust issues within your romantic and friendship relationships. I hope you either got help with those issues or were able to work through them yourself. You seem to be well adjusted now, judging by what you typed out. I think the reason I am most proud, amazed at you is being able to distantly interact with her and him. Even after so long, you are truly getting the best revenge humanly possible by moving on and showing them both you survived, you grew in a positive manner and you're even happier, I think, than you were with them in your life. I realize time lessens the pain of all, okay, most, wounds. When someone betrays me, I do not take it well and I don't forget. There are people I haven't seen in 15 years that if I ran into today I'd want to inflict bodily harm to. Males only. I've dealt with much betrayal and pain in this life due to the deeds of others. I'd love to aspire to have the ability to look back at foes of my past and feel nothing at all or even pity. That is just effing amazing and awesome to me that you have that ability. I think your mindset on the matter is beyond typical human nature. Or maybe you just have a good heart or something. You're a far better human than me. I think we can both live with that smile. The fact you said your ex wasn't the last to cheat on you saddened me in a way. I can say from experience catching and so in the act of cheating is an infinite amount worse than just knowing they cheated. Both do something to your soul, but seeing it with your own eyes is far rougher. I admire that you can look back on your past, acknowledge your naivety, realize you weren't to blame and know people can betray you no matter how much you care about them. That knowledge you actually use to better yourself and find someone genuine and true to you. I am happy for your husband, very happy. I'm sorry you had to go through a field of cow dung in life to become a worthy person to love. I'm happy he found you as a, somewhat, finished product and you let him into your heart. It's just beautiful is what it is. Thank you again for sharing. P.S. Ignore any people that are appalled you hit Maria. If that was all you did, she was lucky. A former friend was cheating with a married woman many years ago. Her hubby came home for lunch and found his wife in bed with my friend. He shot my buddy and took her out before she reached the bedroom door before killing himself. What the husband did wasn't legal or good in any way, shape or form. But when you catch and so in the act, the emotions make anyone crazy, at least temporarily. You handled things as admirably as you could under the circumstances. You have nothing to be ashamed about. As they say, don't start none, won't be none. Peace unto you and all of yours. Or, thank you so much for your kind words. I'm definitely tearing up reading this just because it's nice to hear someone say those kind things about me. So thank you for comment and everything you said. It really made me smile too. You're right, I had to go through a bunch of bad relationships first to get where I'm at today. And each relationship you learn a little more and grow from. Like what you can do differently with the next one. My husband and I met when I was 25, so we've been together 8 years now, married for the last 2 years. So we dated quite a while before getting engaged. We took it slow. We didn't live together until our 2nd year of dating either. We did it right this time. We both wanted to make sure this was going to work before we made a commitment to each other. This is my husband's 2nd marriage and he's a little older than I am. So I think with his experience with marriage really helped us take it slow. We're best friends too. We work together too. So we're together 99% of the time. But it just works for us. Yeah, I mentioned I was cheated on more than once. A boyfriend I dated for about 1.5 years, I found out after we broke up that he had a girlfriend the whole time in a different town. This was my early 20s. Me and this BF were into drugs as well, another very toxic relationship. We ended up breaking up for whatever reason. I can't really remember now. And about a month later he died in a car accident while under the influence of heroin. He was driving while high and fell asleep at the wheel and crashed. We had been texting too, planning to get back together earlier that week. I took it hard. It really ducked me up for a while and I used drugs to cope. Shortly after his death I got a random phone call from a girl. She told me she was his GF of many years and that she knew all about me. I had no idea. But at that point my pain from losing him trumped the pain from his cheating, so there was never any hard feelings. How could there be? He was gone forever. I actually became friends with the other girlfriend and were acquaintances to this day. I wasn't dealt an easy life and I went down a dark road for a while and got into a lot of trouble and lost everything and everyone I loved. But I paid my dues and fixed my life up and I'm a recovering addict. That's actually how I met my husband. He's in recovery from drugs as well. So today I'm grateful for every little thing I have and the life I get to live today. I worked hard to get where I'm at and it wasn't easy. Nothing has been handed to me. So all of these life choices and experiences have shaped me into who I am as person. If I could go back and change anything that happened to me, I wouldn't change a thing. Heart. Forgive me for continuing to comment. But you keep saying things I find poignant. So, it's your own fault lol. We're best friends too. We work together too. So we're together 99% of the time. But it just works for us. This didn't just make me happy for you both, it made me a little jealous. Like you, I have had a rough life and I've been betrayed by those I loved. In hindsight, whenever I had and so in my life they were my best friend. The fact you two are best friends isn't just ideal, it's the way it is supposed to be. While the physical nature of being betrayed hurt the most, the loss of that best friend has seemed to do the most damage. Like you, I weeded through a bunch of dandelions to find my rose. Mine sadly died 5 years ago and I have never recovered from it. But while I miss her every single day for a multitude of reasons, the loss of my best friend, my confidant, my soulmate is what destroyed me. After she died it would come time to go home from work and I'd just sit there. It was hard enough to go through the day not texting and talking to her. To have no one to go home to was the toughest thing. I am so happy for you too. I hope you have both figured out life is going to bring some bad things his way and your way. Do not put your friendship on the back burner. Marriage is tough. If you two can face whatever comes at you as friends first and know you each have each other's best interests at heart, you have something amazing. You two have something more valuable in this life than anything else. And I know all too well about using drugs to cope. I still smoke weed, even if it isn't legal where I am, but I don't even drink anymore. I was a dealer in my much younger days and I've seen how substance abuse destroys lives, even my own. I'm proud of you both for being able to look internally, figure out what the root of the negativity was and address it. You are both strong and getting stronger, together. I'd say, you go girl. But it's more a case of you go girl and boy, you're both doing it right. I envy that you have the ability to look at even bad things in the past as learning experiences. I don't have that in me and never will. But I again am proud of you for being able to look at life like that. And I thank you again for sharing the positivity. I wish you had a GoFundMe page so I could pay for a nice dinner tonight for just the two of you. But I think you both cherish your time together no matter what you do. So if you end up eating McDonald's tonight, I know it will still be an event of love and soaking in the love of each other. If you get a Happy Meal, keep the prize. I'm sure your husband would admit he already got his prize. You both are awesome. Thank you again. Again, thank you for your comment and what you see in us and our relationship. You're absolutely right about what you were saying about being friends first. That's how it should be. You said, I envy that you have the ability to look at even bad things in the past as learning experiences. I don't have that in me and never will. I think you do have it in you. And just from some of the stories you said here in your comments, you've definitely learned lessons and moved on. Example, the drugs to cope. You said you no longer drink. That's growth right there. I bet you have learned a lot from your past, you're just not realizing you have. Give yourself more credit. You sound like you went through a lot in your life so far and I think you came out the other side stronger. That's growth and learning lessons as well. Smile. I'm sorry about the loss of your soul. That's so hard. The pain of losing someone you love so much. It just breaks you. I'm truly sorry you're still feeling the effects from that. I hope you can heal from that and move forward. That's what she would want for you. She would want to see you happy, healthy and sharing your life with someone special. You know her spirit is with you always. Just because she's not physically here with you, doesn't mean she's not here watching over you. I really hope in time you can get back out there and give dating a chance again. I know it seems impossible and that no one will ever compare to her. But they don't have to compare to her because they wouldn't be replacing her. No one can replace her. Another love for you would just be a new part of your life, a new experience. You would be moving forward and that's okay. Like I said above, she would want for you, smiley face. Thanks again for your kind comments and being so understanding. You've definitely been a pleasure to chat with today. For the love of God, please use paragraphs next time. Smiley face, sorry. Will do. You did the right thing. She deserved that knowing you and Josh were together. I like how you handled it, it must have hurt you. I dated a girl I used to party with. We did all that aside from school. I'm still trying for a get, and had 4 years living with me. I caught her with my older brother. It caused problems until the day she ran off and got married to her baby's daddy. Sorry, not my story, I know, forgive me, but I just thought I'd share that because I like how well you did after. I still can't seem to date due to loss of trust and insecurities, but your story makes me want to even more that I already do. Get back out there and date. Please don't let that discourage you. Not everyone is a cheater. But I'm sorry you had to go through a similar situation. It sucks, but you can learn from that relationship and grow. I know you think you can't trust a girl now, but how will you know if you don't try? Life is about finding someone you love and spending your life with them. So if you won't date anymore, how will you find your partner in life? You need to try even if it hurts sometimes. I'm self-confident and not brave enough to try being myself to see that I didn't get it. Anyway, in life I'm still sleeping in the same bedroom in which I caught them locked in. So that and not taking proper care of myself mentally and physically, I can't. I'm not ready even though I want to. Thank you, I will work harder for it. Okay. Well, it sounds like you know what you need to do to change things. Like you said, proper self-care. So in time I hope you can move forward, maybe even physically move out of that room, or apartment or house, whatever you're in, and start over fresh somewhere else, somewhere that doesn't remind you of what happened. These things can take time. But don't take too much time because you could get stuck in a rut. Be well and take care. Thanks for your comments, by the way. Could you please split your story into a few paragraphs? It would make it easier to read. Thanks, smiley face. Yeah, that's what someone else suggested for next time. But yeah, I can edit this one now. Sorry about that. I wrote it really late last night and then fell asleep and posted it this am. I wasn't thinking. There is nothing wrong with the way you reacted. I would have done the same if I was in your shoes. Well done. She deserved it. Thanks for understanding the situation. You're a proper psycho bitch. This is the sign of cheaters. Their feelings last for 2 years always. I understand it must have affected you deeply. I am a woman too. But glad to know you successfully bounced back and have matured compared to your loser ex-boyfriend. Smile. Thanks, girl. I appreciate that. Smile, and thanks for the positive comment. I'm actually mad at Op's mother after reading this story. Allowed her child to drop out of high school and move in with an older man? My goodness, some people don't deserve to be parents. A few questions for the Op. Why did you attack Maria? It was your boyfriend who cheated on you, he's the one who betrayed you. What, attack the weaker person? Then you hook up with Josh again? Kinda trashy. What if he caught something when he was cheating? The ending makes it seem like you have a fairy tale life. How did you land such a great career if you skipped college? I never said I didn't go to college. I actually went to a business and technical school for cosmetology first and got my license doing hair and nails. Did that for a few years and decided to go back to school for interior design. That's what I do now. I'm in sales and an interior designer. And yeah, I shouldn't have slept with him again. But in the heat of the moment, that's what happened. At the time I was still in love with him, and love makes you do stupid stuff. It's not trashy, geez. He was my BF for 2 years. And I made a bad judgment call. I mean, I look back now and cringe, but that's what I did and I can't change that. And why did I attack Maria? BC, I was so hurt that she could do that to me. She was my best friend. The shock of seeing the two of them together. It just broke me, and that was my natural reaction. Again, I was 18. I was young, dumb and immature. And yeah, I had a really hard childhood. My mom was a drunk and my dad wasn't in the picture. My mom was never around to take me right from wrong. I had a really tough life growing up, but it made me the strong woman I am today and made a good life for myself. And there is nothing wrong with that. Maria was her best friend. She betrayed her too. So she attacked her. And Maria deserved it 100%. If your best friend slept with your GF, how would you react? Shake hands with your best friend and thank him for revealing that your GF is a cheater? Or if you are a woman, then how will you react when your best friend sleeps with your man? Shake hands with her, hugs and kisses both her cheeks and thank her for proving that your BF is a cheater? It's always nice to hear a story with a good ending. To hell with the morons making nasty comments. It's a good thing their opinions do not count any more than they do. And they do not count at all. She was supposed to be your best friend. But she ducked your boyfriend. She needed for you to beat the shit out of her. Well done. You are 33 and dwelling on this shit? Haha, no, I thought I'd share the story. The sub is called Cheating Stories. It was just sharing my cheating story. Lol. Ever heard of the whole concept of narrating life experiences? Plus look what subreddit this is, FFS. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.